Okay, hi everybody. Normally I have my mic that connects to this, but unfortunately I don't have the mic. So yeah, you're gonna deal with my voice going constantly up and down and up and down for a while. So basically I am gonna mention that I'm doing a tier list, this time on nerfs and buffs. S tiers for like those who are struggling the most. Need help is it needs a little buff or a kind of buff, or needs a buff. Now, like, I'll put mid as in like don't need a buff. Kenya not is like needs a little nerf, and big time nerf is big time nerf. Like it goes on. So basically, I am going over heroes that needs and that might need a little buff, big buff, doesn't need to be bothered, needs a little nerf, or needs big nerf. So let's start with Kiriko. Actually, I would just say just nerf her alt cost, as in like add more, so she has to actually earn it a bit. That's just in my opinion. More, I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm biased, but reality, what caused her to act like more like a DPS is basically her being buffed by dumb damage. So, and when you're fighting against tanks, especially when it comes to like classic, like 66, you're going to eventually need to focus on healing more and not hitting. And she's going to remain support. 66, 5v5, you're supposed to be healing more often. Get rid of that damage. Get rid of the unnecessary damage. I might say damage might need to be nerfed, but I think it's her range that needs to be nerfed the most. Her single hit. Baptiste, and leave him be. Doesn't need a buff or nerf. Brigade, just leave her alone as well. Gino might need a little bit of help, so might need a buff. Need buff on some way, which is her healing a bit. But I wouldn't say she needs like a lot of buffs, but she might need at least somewhat buffs. Lori, she might need to be like she might need her pylon buff a bit, but I wouldn't say that her hitting self or her healing beam needs to be buffed. I would just say probably something needs to be nerfed a bit, but not by a lot. Lucio, a lot of people would say buff Lucio, but I would say actually leave him be, because who knows if Blizzard's going to be like, oh, you want to buff Lucio? Let's buff him big time, to where a lot of people are complaining. We don't want that. I'm just being honest from like a silver and gold standpoint most of the time. It's just some situations I'm alright with, and some I just try to understand why. Life Weaver definitely needs buff big time. Let's just say, you can get away with still get away, but it's a really rare chance to like actually be able to help. So if they could do something about his self-healing, that would be great. Because that thing was the one thing that kept Life Weaver alive longer. And since that got nerfed, it kind of made it harder to play. Ana, I would just say maybe nerf her damage and healing a bit if you want her to be more fair. Zenyatta, leave him be for now. I think he's alright right now. I don't think he needs to be bothered. Mercy's pistol might need to be buffed, but that's about it. I wouldn't say she needs a lot of buffs. Venture, just leave them be. He stated where it's easy, but you gotta also learn how to play them. Doofus might need a big buff, my opinion. Maybe buff the health or at least give it a new ability. It actually helps Doomfist players a lot. Understand their role more. Diva might need a big nerf. Like a big one, where I think it's just she needs less mech health. Or that where at least she knows when to back up. And she's being used most of the time, which is it's kind of annoying, especially since you're going against Zarya, and majority of the time it does not work. I don't like talking about counterwatch, but as someone who plays who plays Diva, even I know not to play Diva if I am gonna suck at it. And I think on Diva a lot of times, so is why I barely play her in competitive or in rank. I'm just afraid that I'll have to learn and forget about the abilities some heroes have. I have to learn her. So if you nerf her health, it gives divas a heads up that you're not joking anymore. You're going to take the balancing actually serious, especially with, in case 66 is actually happening. You need to nerf some of the heroes to where at least they're more balanced. Dragon Queen does Laverby. I know some people want her to have more health, but meh, I don't know. As a Dragon Queen myself, I can handle her, and in case I'm the one who messed up, I'll always try to bounce back the next time. Mauga might need a little nerf, not huge, but at least to where not limited ammo, but maybe just make the loading cooldown of the like how he runs fast like a Reinhardt, except for it's just a mauga version. Nerf maybe increase the cooldown. We're not gone over all heroes, but we are gone over all supports, so it's just tanks and DPS left. Now Ashe, see money a little nerf, just on headshot damage, at least a little bit. Her regular damage on the body is fine, it's just headshot might be a little annoying. Need to think about it. If she's supposed to be a mix of a shotgunner and a sniper, she shouldn't be having as much crit on headshots as Widowmaker does. Because you're playing more of just a flexibility character. Bastion, I know a lot of Bastion means are going to hate me for this, but maybe nerf a little bit. Just a little. Maybe either you can increase the grenade cooldown or maybe give them a little bit less health by about, I don't know, 15. That's just my opinion. Much as rather than, I know it's controversial, but oh well, it's just my opinion at the end of the day, And it's not likely Blizzard's going to take me seriously, so these are just my thoughts. Cassidy, he might need some help. Not big time, like Life Fever and Doomfist, but yeah, it's kind of there. I would just say he might need help a bit with maybe give him more ammo so he can do more. That's about it. Genji's probably nerf. At least give Genji's more reason to think twice, Like, if you're playing a risk, you're going to have consequences. If you play that risk, Like DPS should. It's in, for example, Widowmaker. She has very low health. That's the risk. She is likely to get one shot. Bastion, he's slow. Like, give them at least something to work with. Not a big one, but just at least something. Hanzo's, I'll just say leave them be. Because I think it's just perfectly fine at the moment. Because, well, it's just... I mean, if it's like you're supposed to be more accurate, that's actually a good way to learn how to play a sniper properly. Because you gotta be accurate at your shots. Especially archers. Junkrat. I'll just say leave them be. Despite that, a lot of people are going like, why can't you just nerf that little piece of shit? I wouldn't say nerf it, just maybe leave it be. If it becomes too much of a problem, then maybe worry about nerfing. Right at the moment, he's fine. Especially this season where half the time I played him, I got wrecked by others, so yeah. Theras, I would say, leave her be. Reapers, might need a nerf. Not a huge one, but, like, a little bit of a nerf. A little bit of a nerf. So yeah. It's maybe just go back to his old ways with his shotguns, like make him more accurate, or headshots are less likely to happen when you're far away. Now, Sojourn's nerf. I'll just say nerf big time, in my opinion. She does not need that extra 25. And she was originally fine when I played her. So yeah, now it's like one of the biggest targets to go after. So yeah, thanks Blizzard, ruined the character. Soldier, I'm not gonna usually say this, but maybe maybe decrease the cooldown of his healing thing. It might actually help the team more. I played him before and he was pretty fun. He can hear a team if he wants to. I'm just saying. Sojourn, the most unpopular character. You wondering, is it because you want the beans to be more powerful? No. It's because I did play the classic mode. I really and I think to myself, would I love her to actually see a support that doesn't require healing once in a while? Maybe a little bit. So what? If you're gonna put this character right here, Moira, in DPS, put this one back in support. Like keep it the way it was before you put in DPS, because it might encourage others to actually. Because in fact, I had a lot. It's the most fun support I played, despite the fact that it doesn't do any healing. What makes this so much fun is you can learn how to strategize and get better at that character. And once you can get better at that character, try a different hero and do that same mindset. Like, what am I gonna plan next? Like, think of like a Junkrat or Hanzo. It's going to help you laze and learn to understand some heroes that you're not going to understand right now. It'll help. If you want to play Slime right now in Classic, go right ahead. It's a limited time, but if I had to bet something, if they're going to swap roles with Mora, it's going to be Slime. No doubt about it. Torb. No, Scrumpy little lad. Nerf his health. That's it. Not going to mention much. Widowmaker, unlike Ash, where she's a hybrid, Widowmaker is not much of a hybrid. I would just say leave her be. And if you think she needs a buff, Blizzard would answer that for you. I can't answer that. Venture. Oh yeah, I already did that. Sorry. I already did that. I forgot 2 ventures there. Okay, let's put it here. Put it here. There we go. Way better. That's a fixed mistake. Orisa. More nerfs. Just saying. She needs longer nerfs. She might increase her cooldowns on some abilities, but maybe at least leave her health be, at least. But everything else maybe do something to like nerf it somehow. She's still way too OP. But that's about it. For that one, now next. May. I would just say leave her be, she's doing fine. On Sombra, I would just say get rid of her newest ability. Get rid of it, get rid of virus. Like, that's not, it's just not the way to learn, make a character more interesting. Because if the character's already hated, don't make it more hated than it needs to be. You know? And Tracer, don't want to say this, but justice for Tracer a little bit. She is right now kind of struggling a bit as of right now, so maybe buff her some way a little bit, not a lot, but at least buff her enough to where it's manageable. Oh yeah, actually, second Von Torb, just make his just at least like do something with turns. Well, actually, just keep it here. Just fix his health and fix the turns. So yeah, where it won't reach a lot. Maybe just buff me. Well, not buff. Nerf turn. Oh, Echo. This is an interesting character to talk about because it's a unique one. In my opinion, I don't really run long experience with Echoes. Just leave her be for now. I'm not sure. This is my opinion. I barely remember Echo, so I'm not sure if she's overpowered or underpowered. Ramacha needs a big buff. In my opinion, he probably needs it. Roadhog actually needs to be left alone right now. He's doing alright. I played him a lot of times and I know when he struggles and when he doesn't. Let's just hope it doesn't go back to the original Roadhog, because that would make me want to put it in big buff, big time. So, Sigma, buff him in some way. Maybe that'll make him less of a main target. Winston, oh no, that needs a buff. Wrecking Ball also needs a big buff. Zarya, maybe leave her be. Reinhardt, leave him be. Yeah, this is just a tier list, in my opinion, who should be buffed the most, who kinda needs a buff in some way, who here in the category of just who needs to be left alone at the moment, who needs a little bit of nerf, and then who needs a big nerf. I know some of the questions are like, why would you want Life Fever, Doomfist, Ramacha, Winston, and Wrecking Ball get buffed big time? What are you thinking? Do you think they're not going to struggle? They're going to struggle big time when it comes to a huge thing called 66. They're going to struggle big time. So it's kind of why I wanted to get buffed a lot. Now, when it comes to who needs a little bit of buff, I mean Juno, and I think her healing kit's more interesting than the attack kit. Her attacking doesn't make anything interesting, so yeah, that's kind of why I want her heals buffed. Alori just needs her pylon buffed, that's it. But if I had to like put her in mid, it's only because she does need a nerf on something else. Not sure where, but to be honest, it might be her ult. Her ult, or how long does it take for her ult to boom? you know. Mercy, I'm just saying her pistol needs a buff because I really am curious what Mercy's will do with a buffed pistol. And plus, it would just actually encourage Mercy to defend themselves in case the others can't defend her. You know, like where you don't have to desperately ask for like, "Hey, I need backup, I need backup, I need backup." When, especially especially with Widowmaker and others, where it's not easy like have time to help Mercy. So Cassidy, I would just say I just say he kind of struggles still. I think it's just his original kit's alright. But it's just, he might need a little bit more ammo to just help him aim more, or hit more in my opinion. That's about it. Let's make him more limitless. Soldier, I just say his healing, because, well, he's right now struggling in some ways, so yeah. Plus, Soldier needs to focus on himself. If I had to go back in time to give, like, who I work with, if it's based on personal, on my experience talking to me and spending time with them, this would not be on the previous video would not be, wouldn't be higher. It would be at the lowest tier. Slime's the only one I'm giving an interesting reason. She might need to swap roles at this point, because I just think that maybe she could bring interesting strategies. Again, because I mean, she ain't gonna be perfect, but it does tell you to think things twice when it comes to her old Overwatch stuff. And it'll be interesting to see the sport version of Slime in today's world. No, one of those things. So I said, Tracer might needs a little bit of buff. It's just Torb a lot. You know, I understand Tracer suffering when I had to deal with Torb. This Torb needs a nerf on turrets. It just needs it. Sigma just only like to maybe go back to what his stats were before. The buff of not damaging himself. Just maybe. That's because, well, I'm just gonna say this once. Right before he got buffed, which is, in my opinion, turned into a nerf right off the bat, to where it was just not fun at all to play anymore. Because he was found right before his buff. Because now all I have to deal with is counter, which just ruins a lot of my games. Don't want to leave, don't say leave alone, just, you already know why, just leave them be. Those who needs a little nerf. Some do have good reasons, but some are just my personal belief might need. I know some of you are agreeing with me, like Genji needs a buff. I mean, nerf, not buff, nerf. Mauga needs a nerf. Very question, why are the others need to be nerfed? Especially with Genji. What has Genji done to you? To know. Okay. You do not want to know. That's all I gotta say. I never explained my reason earlier, so there shouldn't be any reason for you to question me again. And I know some people are wondering why nerf Reaper. It's just so solo players won't try to play sniper. Or a character that is not meant to be a sniper. One of those things. And they're the ones that are big nerf big time. I know a lot of people are going to agree that these two deserves to be big nerf. And then you kind of agree that she needs a nerf. But you're wondering why I need these one or why I believe these two should be big nerf a lot. That's because they're picked majority of the time, and also there are just a lot of players who play them that are not learning mistakes that they should be learning. Like, for example, positioning, when to heal, when to hit. They know how to hit. Moiras just don't know when to heal, and most of the time. And divas don't know when to retreat. A lot of times. I do admit myself that I had times where I didn't think about retreating. But that's because I played a character for quite some time where it actually translated to those characters, but there was just no reason. But there's a reason why I also say that Diva needs a nerf. I just saw way too many divas going against Zarya's. Zarya's. It's just she needs to learn something, man. Like, and plus for every hero to need to you need every hero that counts diva to a counter diva oftentimes. Just sounds insane to me. It's like saying this is the most OP character you're gonna get. You should learn this. You should definitely learn this character. You're gonna get the most skins out of it. You're gonna love this character so much. You're gonna love it, love it, love it, love it. It's like saying you're gonna love a school that you hate the most on Wizard 1, if you know what Wizard 1 is. Like, the most dislike school is Myth. It's like trying to say oh hey, you should learn Myth. Go right over there. Go, 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 go. You should definitely learn Myth. You should definitely learn it. You should definitely learn the lecture and the lore. Use your brain. Be a nerd. Seriously, not everyone wants to be Myth, mate. Come on, let's be real here. Not everyone wants to be one. The majority of people don't like playing Myth, so yeah, probably guess a lot about this one summer too. But also, there's a reason why I just say Diva needs a nerf. It just feels too safe. Way too safe. You go with it just to deal with something, but what have you done when you're not doing your job? If you gotta eventually swap, you gotta eventually swap. One tricks, I understand that they want to play the same hero or whatever. If you're a flexible player and you keep playing Diva over and over and over, when you're failing in miserably, there are times I've done it and I made mistakes and, well, it backfired me. But there was just no reason to keep going if you know that it's just gonna always fail. I don't usually play Doomfist, Diva, or Wrecking Ball, but I play Doomfist if I feel lucky enough or I feel like I can do him that day, even if it fails. But a lot of people it just felt forced a lot of times when it's saying please go Diva. And it just feels forced by the vibe of the teammates a lot. And if it's supposed to be more equalized and more balanced, Diva's gonna get nerfed a lot. Or at least she is at least not demanding as much of being swapped to as in keep going with the same thing. And maybe also just Diva needs maybe just some with Diva that just needs her abilities or stuff just needs a little bit more cooldown. Needs some more cooldowns. I think it's just her matrix. The thing that protects everyone does need a nerf a lot. And and back then I think it's just easier to learn Diva if you want to play dive tank character, you don't need to protect yourself, and you can protect yourself, but just try to think of your teammates more. Because if you're not playing a dive tank, don't worry about your teammates much. Unless it's absolutely necessary. Unlike, for example, the one of you that doesn't need to be worrying about their teammates. It's usually Wrecking Ball. Depends on the situation, and that's about it, in my opinion. I think this is only Wrecking Ball is the only exception. Every other tank doesn't really have an excuse or anything, you know. Wrecking Ball's the most miserable. Might as well just let it learn stuff by itself. I learned Wrecking Ball a lot better by looking for health packs because it teaches me my positioning, where I want to attack, where I don't want to attack, what pack I should go to, and which ones I should not. That's what teaches me when it comes to Wrecking Ball. Diva is just more like it's the only thing that you can get a second chance on, while other tanks don't get that second chance of life. I understand, like, maybe Diva's a different character, but yes, I'm not understanding this, to be honest. It's all mech Diva thing. I'm just not sure why I want her nerf, other than those reasons. But I think it's just, Diva needs to be worried about the most, not just Moira, Sombra, Soldier, and Orisa. Anyways, that's it. I hope everyone has a great day. See you guys tomorrow.